It's time to look at the stories making headlines in Nigerian newspapers. And joining me now is managing partner Susanna Ola-Daniels and co Olayinka Ola-Daniels. Olayinka, good morning. It's good to have you join me now.
Good morning.
Great. Okay, let's begin with the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Daily Trust says, Magu, no interest on funds in TSA. That's the AGF is saying this, keeping recovered loots in commercial banks illegal, as lawyers are saying this. An anti-graft war may suffer setback. International groups are saying this. Okay, this is a fallout from the back and forth about what we hear from the EFCC. All right, that's the Daily Trust. From there, let's go to the Leadership newspaper. Leadership says APC leaders defy PMB's directive on litigation and drag party to court over dissolution of Oshomole-led National Working Committee. A Supreme Court decides on constitutionality of virtual court proceedings tomorrow. All that on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. From there, let's go to the News Direct. News Direct says Nigeria to generate $20 billion annually from creative industry. That's the CBN Governor Emefiele saying this. Handing over of a National Theatre makes Lagos 21st century economy. Governor Sanwo-Olu is saying this. Okay, from there let's go to the Blueprint, which takes us back to the EFCC issue. Magu failed to account for 332 recovered assets. As a report saying this on the Blueprint newspaper. Okay. From there, let's go to Daily Times now. Daily Times says Nigerians FCTA differ on alleged land racketeering in Abuja. Okay, that's Daily Times. National Economy is next. OPS lists critical sectors for intervention as the federal government moves to reflate the economy. Okay, then Business AM. Business AM, which is the last one we're looking at right now, says Nigerians spend 335.94 billion naira on calls, SMS, data in May. Wow, that's a lot there. Nigerians spend 335 billion naira on calls, SMS, data, just in 1 month in May. Well, that's a lot of money. Nigerians are busy. Okay. Olayinka, let me come to you on with the story on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper that says EFCC, Magu failed to account for 332 recovered assets. Okay, now all this, as far as we are concerned, all these are still allegations here and there. None of them has been substantiated, and he has not been charged to court formally and all of that. But what worries you precisely when it comes to the way that EFCC chairman, no EFCC chairman has left office, completed his tenure and left office honorably? There's always this drama around how they leave office from the first and to the one now. Why is it so?
Yeah, well, the answer to that, I'll leave it to the power play. I'll leave it to the people that feel that, okay, it's time for them to go and that they have to go that route. From Ribadu to Waziri to Lamde, we also, what happened? And I think it is not a good omen for us as a nation that if we have a chairman of anti-corruption crusade, if you have a chairman of such commission, he should be able to do his work diligently, then leave at the expiration of his time, quietly, celebrated, not at the way all of them have been moved from the commission. It is not a good omen, like I said, and it is not really good for us as a nation to the giant that people are looking at. Having said that, I think also to an extent, he has this build, he has this confidence that also brought up to tell the world that, okay, our corruption fight is not limited to some some particular people. If there are issues with, even if it has to do with the chairman, if there's an allegation, then he should be able to answer. So telling the chairman to step down or suspending the chairman of such commission, as in he is a plus in disguise. If we have to look at it critically, that okay, even the chairman, it is not exempted from any questioning, any queries as to the way he has come up with his work. So it is a plus in these guys also. But then I think we have to look at it, we have to weigh the two together. And not to have this, we don't have to make it the practice that every time it is about time for any leader of such commission to leave. It is not every time that we have to probably disgrace them or remove them uncelebrated or come up with all sorts, provided these allegations are not genuine or is not found culpable. Because if there's an allegation, then you give room for fair hearing.
Okay, exactly. That is one area Nigerians are talking about. The point there is, on the pages of newspapers, we see all sorts of allegations, discrepancies from how much was declared and how much was recovered, discrepancies in the figures of how much monies have been recovered as a whole, the number of houses that the chairman has bought here and there, just so many allegations here and there. But we don't get to see taking him to court and then following the due process, because if all of those things are true, it is expected that he be prosecuted.
Well, unfortunately, where we are right now, first of all, if there's an allegation, don't forget that the panel is just an administrative panel to indict. So the panel cannot do anything to Magu. It can only look at it administratively, then indict him to say, okay, yes, this, we have found this, we have found out. The panel is not a court. So unfortunately for us, you see, these are the things that some of us, we cry about most of the times when we see them happening that come. We said it in the days of former Chief Justice Onoge. When he allowed some things, we said this thing will fire back, it will come back to him. It came back to him. Now, the EFCC, the chairman had also allowed some opera, some ways in which they have been working in the past, in detaining people, not going to court, in doing things the way they were doing. Now, it has come to backfire on him. You see, in as much as I want the rule of law to be followed, in as much as okay, you feel that there's an allegation against someone. If there's an allegation, and now this man has been in your custody for like for a week, over a week now. If there is something against him, take him to court, give him fair hearing, let him plead his case, let him raise his defense. You see, we do this time and time over and over. He's also culpable of this. He has done this in the past, that we have to come and cry and shout that take this person to court. Stop detaining them. The constitution is clear. We know what section 35 of the of Nigerian constitution says about 48 hours. That if you want to continue your investigation, then go and get court order. It is only the court that can give you order to detain further. But we have not seen that. We have not seen that. I think it is good for us to do things what we claim that we follow the rule of law. But in practice, seriously, we do not see it. In practice, we do not see it because this happens every time, and we have to come up and talk and shout. If you can't use the you can do things, you can't use the wrong thing to undo the another wrong thing. No, you have to follow due process. That is what we are saying about Magu. Take him to court. If there is anything against him, then let him defend himself. You cannot keep him there for over a week, and he has not even done that. And again, let me say this, because some of our media houses need to also be careful. And that happens also. In fact, EFCC also used that. Now they are using it against him. They go on media trial. You have not even concluded your investigation, you have not done anything, you go on media trial and you go to court and you mess up your own case because you have gone on media trial. The same thing is replicating itself now. Now you see media coming up with all sorts of allegations, the 4 billion to vice president, the 28 to Falana, and all sorts. Why can't they allow the panel to do their job? When the panel is done, if there's anything against this man, let him go to court. Let him go to court. Even the some I read when the lawyer was writing to the panel, to the to the panel to grant him bail. Panel is not the panel that arrested him. He's not sleeping under the custody of the panel.
Olayinka, one other thing Nigerians are concerned. Now, you talked about the issue of the panel. The panel is sitting and there are no media allowed during the sitting. How Nigerians or the media or any other person for that matter gets the proceedings and then what has been found out and what is being investigated through the panel, it still remains a thing of concern. What do you make of how panels don't keep these things watertight until the end of a report that everyone should wait to see?
Yes, we are talking about the panel not keeping it watertight. But the truth is, it's not limited to the panel. It has been happening. EFCC is fond of doing it. There are other organizations that are fond of doing some things that they don't even have some of the facts. But the next thing you see on papers, you see on news saying that, bringing up all sorts of allegations that cannot be quantified, these allegations that cannot be established and all that. The same thing has happened. That somehow you have people in-house that will talk to the media. You have, and you know your media. What we lack somehow in some of our media houses is what we call the investigative journalism. We don't do our investigation very well because we want to sell, because we want to make money. So we just pick any news that flies by our ears and we put it to the public, not considering what that would do to the public. It is sad. So now, saying watertight, they may be doing, the truth is the panel may be doing his own job quietly, but somehow it may be one of them, among them, or somehow the media may just also assume that, this, that, and they just want to bring something to the public for them to be able to sell and make their money. So we can't really totally blame the panel because we don't have facts that this is leaked through them or through any of them. But it's unfortunate if we have to go this route all the time that we have such things in place.
All right.
I think we can do better. We can do better.
Okay. How would this ongoing drama, how would it impact the fight against corruption? Because a lot of people are concerned, both within Nigeria and outside, that the way this is going to impact the direction of the fight against corruption.
I've said it is in two sides of the coins. I said earlier that, one, it will send a bad signal to the world that, even look at the chairman of the Soul Commission. Look at, and don't forget that this is the allegation. But the way the world, the world believe, the world prefer the false things. What they want to hear is what you tell them, what they want to hear. That is about the world. Now, we have said that and people are taking, what if this man is not culpable or somehow he was able to put up his defense and in truth get a court and is not found guilty? So what do we make of this? So that is the reason why we need to do due diligence and we need to do very good work before we can come up to say, why can't we do our investigation, finish all our work before this man, the name goes up there or go into the world to say, okay, this is what he has done. But that is not the case. We find them guilty before trial.
Before we commence the prosecution. All right. Yes, we have to leave you here now.